Hey guys, Sandy with another video here. So today we will be looking about my submission for Microsoft Azure Trial Hackathon 2021. So this project was focused on low code, no code solution, and the submission is made for the same. So the diagram that you're looking at is a brief overview of how things work, and I just named it as Azure is an skin cancer treatment center. So this is just a name for it. So just I won't have a name, so I just had it. So we do have a couple of things to cover. So we'll go with the Power Platform, the UI. So that is being used for the most of the UI part and how the things are rendered and how we get data from SharePoint and stuff like that. But for most of the part, so the flow, goes from Power Automate flow, which triggers all these crazy stuffs that we are going to look at. So we also have few of the add-ons that we have added, and which few of the things that we weren't able to do it in Power Automate, which were possible in Logic Apps. So we are also exploring that area a little. So let's get started. So the flow that you're looking at is Power Apps is the first UI that you see, or the visual thing that you see. The entire flow runs on that particular phase, and all the database that we are showing here is from SharePoint List. So SharePoint List is something that you can create it as a use it as a database, but it is not a full scaled one. But you can switch it with SQL Server or Cosmos DB or whichever Postgres, MySQL, or all the Azure offerings. You can substitute it with all these. But for a simplicity and for easy convenience with Power Apps, I think List holds good for at least that. If you have less number of data, if you want to do it, or even if you have huge number of data, I haven't tested it yet, but you can definitely choose that for a prototype. But again, if you want to go with full scale, highly recommend using Cosmos DB or any other relational database of your choice. So with that said, all the trigger goes through Power Automate, and we do have three. So the first one is where it detects the image. So it detects the type of skin cancer. So you can just send it an image. So you upload it in the Power Apps, and it kind of sends it to the Azure function. We have HTTP trigger waiting to receive that. So once you give out the data in bytes, it kind of reconstructs it and pushes it to the machine learning model and get the label of what it is, or if it doesn't match with any of the six labels, it gives us a negative. So negative is where they don't have a cancer. So then it goes also uploads the same to blob storage. So once that is done, it kind of returns what are the prediction that is it has made to the Power Automate flow. Then we also update the patient details, the list with the URL of the image that we have just uploaded, and also with the type of cancer that it has detected. So that is one part of the flow where it tells you like a initial screening or a pre-screening before an actual dermatologist looks at the image. So once that is done, you can choose with the same Power Apps flow or Power Apps UI. You can send it to a dermatologist, a real one this time. So you will send an adaptive card which he can respond to. You will also have an image attached with, and you will have the appointment date, time, and as well as the type that the model has predicted. And the dermatologist can also give out a prediction that this is wrong, this is something that the model has not predicted right. So he can also give some suggestions on that. So once that is done, he just needs to use the Outlook. Just log in as usual. You will get an email, and then you can just do everything from there. You don't have to click any links. You don't have to move anywhere. So that is one of the greatest advantages of using adaptive cards for at least few of the functionalities that you would do in a web page after logging in and doing couple of steps to get there. But you have everything inside your Outlook, so you don't have to move anywhere. You don't have to change screens. You don't have to do anything of that sort. So once the dermatologist responds to it, it kind of goes to the Logic Apps. So why Logic Apps? We can do it with Power Automate, but there is a premium connector for having a receiving endpoint. So you can use Logic Apps for that, where you can receive the same endpoint, but you can also do the same or replicate the same with Power Automate. There's a trigger which receives a flow from the URL. So that also you can try. We send a post request, and then the Logic app decides on which column to update, or on the status of the dermatologist. So if let's say the dermatologist says negative, and it also has another flow which sends the image URL and the description of it to DevOps. It creates a bug ticket or bug item there, so that we could train the model maybe once a month or maybe twice a week, twice a month. So it really depends on how you want to train the model. You have to kind of retrain the model every time. You cannot use the same model all the time. So that is this part, and we also have a update to the SharePoint with a list of maybe the slot. So we also send a slot number to it, and he can pick or he can reject it. He can reject it. If he rejects it, then we also have to send another email to him, or he can suggest a new time. So that is also possible. So that is the overall view, or what the overall flow of it. So booking and stuff. So we'll go and see the live demo so that we can visually understand how things work. So we'll start with the roles that we have. So we have the employee role or the nurse role, the person who is updating the patient's details into the system. They can add the new patient, view it, filter it, search for it, and you also have a dashboard which gives you some idea of who are being treated and what status they are in. So we also have a patient's view, or they can use the role as patient, the top. So role equals patient. So they can also view it as in a single app. You don't have to create multiple stuff for it. You can just switch screens over there. So we don't have any of the details of Alex right away. We would add him shortly, and we also upload his image. So we also have a doctor's view. So where he can see how much patient he's treating and what are the books slots that they are being booked and what are the slots requested. So as you click on update, if there is any update, it kind of gets right in. So we see we have one slot booked and one requested, and he's also treating one patient. So we'll try to upload an image and we'll see what happens. Or we'll try to add a patient and then add his image. So we'll see also the patient view. We have 4 as of now. So you can also search for Patty. So that is handy if you have more people to search with. Also view their profile if you want to. You can just see all these details, and if you can want to edit, you can definitely edit it as well. So what we'll do is we'll try to add a new patient. So we'll call him Alex, and Alex W, and this age is 45. It doesn't matter. Just select some random numbers over here. Mail, and the important part is his email ID. So whatever email ID that you put in, so make sure it matches the details that they have in the system. So we have successfully added a user. So we'll try to add an image for him. So we have Alex W, and we upload a test image and upload. So what it does is it triggers the function itself. So the Azure function is called. So we'll just quickly see what are the list got updated. Just go to the list and new patient getting added. So we don't have his URL yet. So once the classification is done, we'll have his URL updated in the SharePoint. So that is done. So we are still waiting for that response from the Azure function, since it has to spin it up if you're doing it after a long time. And hopefully we got some output. So we just got some answers on which one to send. So we do have the prediction by the model, and we can also now we can send to a dermatologist with an adaptive card so that we could see what is happening. Make sure select Alex. So select Alex, Sandy, and hit on send, and the email is sent. So we could see trigger that is generated, and we'll also see if the image URL is updated in the patient's list or not. So as you could see, we do have an update with the URL and also the step number. So we'll see the patient's view. So as you can see, we have initial screening done. So we do have the tick mark over there so that it says that initial screening is done. So once the dermatologist is done, we'll also have this bar filled out. As you can see, we have a new email, so we'll choose something else if the doctor chooses to, and we can also select a date for an appointment, select random time, and click on submit. We'll also see how this goes into the logic app. We'll just do a refresh, and hopefully something should have updated. And so as you can see, which item got updated, so it receives that particular submit that we have done. So it's Alex W, and what is this type, and we also set the step number as 2, and this is the output from the updated item. So we also have another item which is updated, which is the slots. We do have a slot booked, and the doctor has confirmed it, so you get that. And then we also have adaptive card, which kind of gives thank you for the response successfully submitted part. And we also trigger an email to the patient itself, so if the appointment is booked, we'll also show you that. And we also have another flow which gives you the work item if it is added. So we'll choose another flow which has some kind of updates to the, maybe this one has. So it kind of creates a work item which is a older run. So but we'll see how this kind of creates that. And we also have the doctor ID and the image URL, and what type of the prediction given by the dermatologist. So you get that. So once you have that, we also have the update on the SharePoint with an image, with the step number, and so on and so forth. You can also see the slot got updated. Yes, so the date that we have given 8/24, it is in 24 hours format. We just converted add 12 to it, you get that. So you can also go to the doctor's own page now, and you get a couple of requests and whatever, how much time you have clicked. So just want to show you the flow of it. So we do have a couple of flows which went through. So we see his name and the user ID and the function it is called, and you pass it the name and the object, the image itself, whatever the image it was, and we pass this into whatever the type it is, and then we send a response back to the Power Apps, and we also update this item, and we also update the step number. So we do also have another flow which sends email to the doctor. So this flow gives you an idea of how you send things to the doctor. So this is the part where the card is used, where you can see all these details are getting created, and we also create a slot. So slot, if the doctor accepts it, if the dermatologist says that we need to talk, we have to consult, and that is also done. So we do finally trigger an email to the dermatologist itself requesting for his view on it and disclosure. So that's mostly it for this flow. So we'll try fetching the details again. So you can see it has got updated with dermatologist consulted, and we do also have an email which says that your appointment is booked, and we'll also get a invite very soon. So this also gives you the URL to go to the Power Apps. You can see the role, so you can directly see if things are going fine or not. Whatever checks that you want, you can definitely do it by this way. So this is the complete flow. I just want to show you guys on how you can build on top of this. So this is just a simple stuff that we have seen, and you can build always on top of it. Go back and do a refresh. It kind of takes some time to load the image. Then hopefully we would see all the images. So it kind of takes some time to update stuff. So we'll also see we do have a patient added, and we do have a slot booked, and there is a waiting list as well. So since that guy was diagnosed with cancer, so it got updated as well. So you can definitely pretty much play around with it. We do also have a theme toggle. If you're someone who wants to have a different theme, you can definitely utilize this one. So hopefully you liked it. Make sure you check out the GitHub repo, and if you want to contribute, if you want to build it further, that complete code is available on GitHub, and you can download that particular zip, or the complete project is available on GitHub, and you can definitely import the entire app and all the flows that I have showed. You can definitely import it and start using it right away. So hope you liked it. See you on another one. Take care, guys.